All right, everyone, welcome to this first introductory video on our coronavirus procedure, how we're going to, conduct the class over the next 2 weeks, all your assignments, how we're going to do those, where you can find them, how you can turn your work in on time, how you can reach me. We're going to go over all this stuff during this introductory video. But I'd like to start by saying that it could be worse. I know everyone's probably pretty excited to be out of school. After day 3 of online classes, you'll probably wish you were back in school. But just always remember it could be worse. In Italy right now, they're on lockdown, so they're not allowed to leave their house for most of the day. If they get out at all, it's not fun, and it could be a lot worse here, and it's not yet. And hopefully, these kind of precautions that we're taking will prevent us to take something to the extreme like a lockdown. So just bear down, get through the next 2 weeks, and hope it passes. But let's jump in. I'm going to start with my expectations for you. First and foremost, you're not going to be able to slack off during the next 2 weeks. If you do, you will see a huge hit on your grade. Zeros are not acceptable, and they will mount up if you don't do your work in all your classes. This isn't like a regular school week where you may go 2, 3, 4 days without having a grade put in. A grade goes in every single day, no matter what. It's part of the school policy. If you have an online day, you have to have something that's gradable to go with it. So you're not going to be able to slack off. To piggyback on that, you're expected to do all your assignments by the established due dates. Whatever due date I put in OneNote or I say in one of these videos is the due date we will use. If you do not complete your work on time, it is a 0. I'm going to be very strict about that. Okay? I can't have 20, 25 people emailing me constantly asking to make up work. It's too much to keep up with for 2 straight weeks. Do your work, turn it in on time, or you get a 0. Exceptions to that rule: if something goes wrong with your tablet, if you have a Wi-Fi issue, you need to reach out to me, however that may be. You, your parents, someone's going to need to prove to me that it actually happened. Just because you send me an email and say, my Wi-Fi went out for an hour, that's not good enough. There's got to be something to convince me that something went wrong and you weren't just too lazy to do your work. Okay? This is not a 3-week spring break. This is 2 weeks of school before spring break. It's just happening in a different format than you're used to. All right, so that's my expectations for you. Your assignments. So all of your assignments will be posted daily to the OneNote tab. It'll be called Online School. I am fully expecting you to make your own online school tab. All of your work, every bit of it, should be posted in that online school tab. I am not going to go looking for your work throughout this period. If you don't post it in the online school tab, it's a 0. It's really not that hard to follow directions. What are the assignments? Well, I can tell you this right now. They're going to be very similar to what you're watching right now. They're going to be lectures posted most likely to YouTube, so I'll be able to give you the link to that so you can watch it. You're going to have to watch them. A lot of you are going to think, oh, it's incredibly boring. For some of you, it is going to be incredibly boring, but it's also the best way, in my opinion, to do school days like this, because it's the same thing as sitting in a classroom watching a lecture, except you have the luxury of being able to pause, rewind, listen to things over again. So I think some of you are going to end up liking it a little bit more than others, but just know that you have a lot more capabilities when having school like this versus sitting in a classroom. But the most important thing from this slide is please watch them. They're only going to be 30 to 40 minutes. We may have some that go longer depending on the topic, but it's the only way we can cover the content that we need to cover during the 2-week absence. So please watch them. Okay, you'll have assignments to go with them. It'll all be explained in OneNote. Quizzes and tests. There will still be quizzes and tests. I know that's going to confuse some of you. How are we going to do that? I know it's going to be disappointing to some of you, but what will not be disappointing is the fact they will all be open note during this time. I'm still working on how we're going to do this, but they will more than likely be on Socrative. And the way that will work is each class will receive a time slot. So, for example, I could say fourth period, your Socrative quiz will be open from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. You'll have 1 hour to log on to Socrative, punch in my code to get into my class, and take your quiz. If you don't do it in that hour period, it will become a 0 and there will be no chance to make it up. So please, please, please check OneNote. Make sure you don't have a quiz the following day. I could announce it in the video that we have a quiz the next day. If you don't watch the video, you don't hear that part, you get a 0 on the quiz. It all comes back to making sure you watch the videos. Okay? A cumulative test. At the end of the 2 weeks, you will have one big test the first day back. So we'll have 2 weeks of school. We'll have spring break. I believe we still get the Monday off for the gala. I'm not sure yet. I'm sure that will be announced. So pay attention for that. If it's announced after or before you've seen this video, ignore everything I'm saying. But if we're off that Monday, this cumulative test will be on Tuesday. And that test will cover everything that we did over the online period. Now, the good thing about this is you will be allowed to use your notes from the 2 weeks. I'm completely okay with that. But it will be worth a considerable amount of points. So if you don't do the assignments, you don't take notes, you walk in and take this test without the notes, you probably will struggle. So keep that in mind when you just are being lazy over the break and you don't want to watch the videos or do your assignments. It will be one big test when you get back. So for questions, if you have any questions throughout this whole week, next 2 weeks, over spring break, whatever, please email me. And I put email in all caps for a reason. Please avoid using Pass-A-Note. I don't care for Pass-A-Note that much. They tend to not pop up and make themselves very apparent when I get them. If you email me, I'll see it for sure, and things will go a lot smoother and a lot quicker for you. You'll get a much quicker response with an email versus Pass-A-Note. So please do avoid Pass-A-Note. That's really the only thing I have for you in this first little video. It's not a long video. It's easy to watch, but I did want to make sure that you all actually watched it. So your first assignment, and this will be due Saturday, no later than 6 p.m. You need to post a top 5 list of your favorite movies. In the introduction page, you'll put that in your own online school tab. So just make a top 5 list. You don't have to tell me why. Just 1 being your favorite, 5 being your 5th favorite of your favorite movies of all time. And that way I'll know you watched the video, hopefully, unless someone just told you to do this. But yeah, get it done. Get it done. That's it for this video. We'll pick it up on Monday.